Thomas Anderson. Like many of you, I work with computers. I like the freedom I feel outside the limitations of the real world. But computers are also mirrors, reflecting back who and what we are and the choices we make, the worlds we build. They also confront us with questions about why we want to choose this over that, why we want to make X instead of Y. Where do ideas of who we are and what we want even come from?
You take the red pill, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
This isn't real.
What is real?
How do you define real?
For instance, I'm not even sure why I'm here. I remember waking up and thinking that I'm supposed to come here, that it was important for me to ask people, how do we know what is real? Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves. Over 20 years ago, I first played the character Thomas Anderson in the Matrix trilogy. Those films pioneered digital cinema with shots like bullet time. Back then, we talked a lot about where the digital age might take cinema and narrative. In an industry where actors have tried to remain perpetually young, we wondered about digital faces that could become immortal.
Hi, I'm Carrie Ann Moss, and I played Trinity in the Matrix films. 20 years ago, we asked ourselves how long it would be before faces and bodies could be changed as easily as we change clothes.
We wondered, what would identity mean in a completely digital world?
And what would reality mean when a world we can build feels as real as our own?
Whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, this is what they wanted. They said they were fine with your theoretical mumbo-jumbo, but they needed some sexy action.
Who said?
The marketing people.
Marketing? I thought we were supposed to have total creative control.
Welcome to the Matrix.
Wow, you still got it.
Like riding a bike, they say.
I sometimes miss this version of us.
Me too.
The hell are you doing back there?
Sorry, I was told this is a sim preparing me to fight the system.
Right on. You know about this?
Yeah. It's all supposed to be a little unreal.
Word of advice. Agents are bad, but whatever you do, stay the hell away from marketing. See you soon.
So, what now?
Haven't you ever watched a movie before? Shoot the tires.
Say no more. Keep them off us. You drive. I'll shoot. are gonna get a kick out of this. Come and get it! Too many of them! You again! Hold steady! Hell yeah! What are you doing?
Time to blow this box down.
Hello, I'm Lost, and this is our Sanctuary, and today we're going to do a different type of video. As you can see, I've loaded up the Matrix pre-rendered demo, and I'm basically just going through it. And at first I didn't find this very impressive. I have a good reason for that though. To me, this isn't impressive. For one, as a lot of players know, we're used to E3. So we watch E3 and we're like, oh, this is impressive. Oh, this is impressive. And then we go and we get the game ourselves, and then it's like, this was so impressive when we saw it in E3, but now it's down rendered. We have tons of examples like that. Obviously, Cyberpunk being one of the biggest one with all the bugs and flaws, whereas what they showed us looked great. Ubisoft's Watch Dogs, when it first came out, looked great, and obviously the last gen consoles couldn't handle that, and so it all got downgraded. And so then we get this, and while this is a decent-ish experience, like I did enjoy my time playing through on this, I noticed a few things that I thought actually seemed impressive, and a few things that I think are over-specified. For one, during the fight scenes, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the explosions seemed digital. when they de-rendered Keanu's face and made him younger, it seemed digital. It didn't seem as crystal perfect as they wanted to make it seem. We're not at that photorealistic. We're close. We are very close, but we're not quite at that photorealistic stage yet. And so I was watching this tech demo and I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, this is cool, but if you were to actually make this into a game, because the whole part where you start interacting is on rails, and I'm going to do something for you real quick, and I'm just going to drive fast. If this car can handle it. No, it can't. I have to find a sports car. Maybe you just saw it. There's one. But basically, as you start to drive fast with everything they've put in this game, you'll notice there's a lot of motion blur. You can't turn it off. Ooh, no, I want to drive that. GTA controls. But yeah, you'll notice there's a lot of motion blur. You'll notice that the frame rate seems to dip, and I'm playing on a Series X. It's on the internal hard drive, not the storage expansion card, but the actual internal hard drive. But as I get faster, you start to see like a lot of blaring issues here. And to me, this doesn't look great. I played this the first time and I was like, this gives me a headache. And you gotta think, this isn't even a car game. Well, it's not an action game. It's not a full game. It's just a tech demo. But they haven't given us the ability to shoot. They've literally just given us the ability to drive, and the mileage, if you look at it, isn't even that fast in comparison to what you would get out of a real sort of driving game. Because this effect to me seems to kick in about 90 miles an hour, and obviously this car has a limit. Oh, okay, I totaled the car. Well, that's great. Yeah, this car has a limit of like 100 and something miles an hour. And that's not to say that any of this is bad. I think the entire game is great. Like the entire tech demo. I think it's all really real and cool. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. You can change the day and night filter, if I can remember how to. That would be sun rotation. But yeah, you can basically see these little menus where you can change little things. And none of this is bad. You can't go on rooftops and try and fall to your death, and you can't Matrix fly. And when you fly and go at the fastest speed, this is as fast as you can go. And so why did this impress me? Because I've already said I didn't really like the demo. I thought the on rails part was, well, on rails, and so everything is literally specifically designed to work at that moment. Well, I liked this because of traffic, of all things. So for anyone who's ever played GTA, you know that when traffic starts to happen, usually cars start to disappear, right? And that's fine. Like, GTA can handle what it can handle. They'll just sell us a remaster of that when they can make it handle more based on next-gen consoles. And so, you know, when we get the GTA 5 remastered edition, like, you know, we'll get a bit more traffic. And so why did I find this game's traffic impressive? Well, now, that's what I'm about to show you. So I would say when I play GTA, traffic caps at about maybe 20 cars. Maybe 20 cars of traffic, and that's the limit GTA can handle. And so I parked my car right in this spot on the bridge, and I was like, well, how much traffic can this game actually handle? And I ignored it for a second. I went up, I tried to find a rooftop. I was closer to that city at the time. And I went up and I looked out onto the city and I was like, huh, this is pretty impressive, because somebody had to go around and design all the different buildings. I know that Carrie-Anne Moss was just like, oh, you know, you can just digitally recreate faces. But it's like, yeah, but designing a whole city like this, that didn't take 10 seconds. And I went up and I got to about here and I noticed there was still a traffic jam. Well, I got a bit higher because I got to the top of one of those buildings. And I looked down and there's still a traffic jam. And I noticed it hadn't de-rendered my car. And as you can see, this traffic jam just builds up. And literally, it just keeps building up. It doesn't stop. You'll see all those cars. They'll come, they'll build up. We can go close to them. They won't despawn. And this is where it started to get interesting, because you can already see there's a long line of traffic. And I thought this is something I wanted to highlight, because this is what it's doing with decent frame rate. Obviously, high speeds in the car, it seemed to be a bit finicky. And yeah, there are these weird gaps in the road where the cars don't seem to go. I'm pretty sure that's a interference problem where the car is detecting other cars not moving, and it's for some reason the collision detection thinks there's cars in front of it or something like that. But yeah, you'll get big chunks like that. But even so, you look at the spectacle, and this will just keep building up. I think I got it to build up to about that building over there where it starts to turn around the corner, and all cars that go into that lane will obviously stop. But yeah, this will just keep building up. And this is where it gets impressive, because if you were to do this in GTA, turn around and then turn back around, that car that you left in the road would be gone. Or at least all the cars in between you and that car, if it was your actual personal car, would be gone. None of these cars de-render. They just keep piling up constantly. There should be 2 police cars on this right side. Oh no, just one. Yeah, okay, the second police car was next to it. Yeah, they'll just keep piling up no matter what you do. And I thought that was pretty cool. This is intense. This is probably the only part of the demo I looked at and I was like, you know what? That's worth making a video over. And it's not a long video. I'm probably going to stop here. I did show the actual footage beforehand. But yeah, basically, this is the entire thing that impressed me. Because if we get games that can render this much and hold it, hold the information, and you can still move around with at least 60 frames, that's decent. Even if they lowered it to 30, yeah, 30 is not great, but it's still impressive to be able to hold this many vehicles. This is not something I've seen before in any video game. And I don't think this sort of tech is going to be applicable to video games, because as I said, once you start going over 100 miles an hour, the game struggles. You can feel the frame sort of dropping a little bit. But this is a wonderful example of what the Unreal 5 engine is truly capable of. All the shows of the city, to me, aren't impressive, because we know that they make movies in Unreal Engine all the time. I'm pretty sure they made the Avengers movies in Unreal Engine, but I could be wrong about that. They made some movies in Unreal Engine. It might have been Battlestar, or Alita Battle Angel, I think it's called. Sorry, I'm forgetting my names of things, trying to remember on the fly. But yeah, we know they've made movies in Unreal Engine that look almost photorealistic. That's not difficult because they literally rendered them on supercomputers. But this is just being rendered on a Series X. And that's impressive, because that means what this is actually capable of is what the Series X is capable of. And we can follow the whole traffic line, and that car hasn't de-rendered. And I think this is where the game starts to get real interesting, because it's well, if this is what's happening here, is this always going to be a thing? I wouldn't be surprised if the damn thing has de-rendered by now, but it doesn't look like everyone's moving. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. Maybe not everybody finds this traffic line as impressive as me, but I'm running this all in real time. This is an actual traffic jam that I've caused, which, if you think about it, in GTA, they would just swerve past me anyway, but in this game, they don't, and you caused, well, this. And while this is happening, the game is still rendering and still working. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is just me. Maybe it's not that impressive, and it just seems impressive to me, but I just thought, hey, if anybody wants to see the coolest thing I think this whole tech demo actually showed, because, I mean, as I said, graphics are cool, but when you're actually playing the game, it's oh, okay, well, you know, graphics start to dip and frame rates start to dip. This has nothing really to do with graphics. This is all about the processing power of the console and how much it's holding on screen. And still showing other moving cars, which aren't actually despawning until they seem to hit past that billboard sign where you can start to see the cars on the right side despawning and no more cars on the left. That is a very long distance for this game to hold this many cars. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.